Good morning once again. Welcome back to the Morning Mindset. I'm glad you're with me this morning. And we have been walking through some deep waters of truth in these most recent episodes. Since the 1st of February especially, we've been focusing on how this struggle between doing right and doing wrong happens in the depths of our soul. This is really some deep work that we're doing here. And I want to encourage you to go back and review episodes from February 1st up until today, because getting this foundation into your mind and into your heart is really at the root of the kind of spiritual victory each of us want to be able to walk out in our everyday life. This battle of the mind that we started talking about last episode is vital to living a life that honors Jesus Christ, because we have to know how to fight the war. We have to know how to win the battle. And the battle happens every single day of our lives. And it's based on truth. You see, that's what this law of our mind that Paul mentions in Romans chapter 7 is really all about. The mind is the place where we choose right and wrong. It's the place where we determine what's true and what's a lie. And Paul goes on and he adds to that law of the mind by saying where our source of strength for recognizing truth and lie comes from. You see, in verse number 24 of chapter 7 of the book of Romans, Paul says something that we all relate with. He says, "Wretched man that I am, who will deliver me from this body of death?" Now, the word wretched does not mean terrible or bad. It means miserable. He's saying I'm miserable because I have this battle going on inside of me between the law of my mind and the power of sin who's attacking that law of my mind. And I'm unable to win it on my own. So he says, who will deliver me from this body of death? Notice once again, he nails that the body is the place where this power of sin resides. He's pointing out, I've got this external power, external to my soul, that's attacking me, and it resides in my body. Who's going to deliver me from that? He realizes he needs help. And then in verse 25, he unpacks the reality of where our strength comes from. He says, "Thanks be to God through Jesus Christ our Lord." Now stop and realize he's answering his own question here. Who will deliver me from this body of death? Who? God will deliver me through Jesus Christ our Lord. So then, I myself serve the law of God with my mind. See, that's the real me. I'm serving the law of God with my mind. I'm fighting in my mind on the basis of truth versus the lies that I'm being fed. But with my flesh, if I just give in to that power of sin in my mortal body, I would serve the law of sin. And you see, that's the transition from Romans 7 into Romans 8. Romans chapter 8 is a description of what it looks like to live in the Spirit. And that's where we're going to go in the next episode. But for now, recognize this. Jesus Christ himself is the transition between this law of sin and death and a life lived according to it, and the law of our mind that's renewed and that is living in accordance with the new being, the new creation that Christ has placed in us. Jesus Christ is the central focus of that change. We've got to get that into our heads. We've got to focus on that truth. That it's not a bunch of religious principles we need. It's not a new law, meaning rules and regulations that are based on New Testament teachings now. That's not what we need. We need more of Jesus. We need more of the person of Jesus Christ. He is the one who can fill us. He is the one who can deliver us. As Paul says, God delivers us through him. And so tomorrow, before we get into Romans chapter 8, I want to talk to you a little bit about some stuff that's right off my front burner. Some things I'm experiencing and learning as I'm learning to press into the person of Jesus more and more every day. I don't have it wired. I don't have it all figured out. But I think what I'm learning could be helpful to you. So join me again tomorrow for the Morning Mindset.